said 3 is too limited. Why should General just do that night? And the next day was submission, because all these things are constitutional based and electoral act based. Because back then it was 90 days before the election. Today is 60 days before the election. So when we came out of Lagos, and even before then, John Buhari was in the channels. And the anchorman asked him, what of the vice presidential candidate? He said it's the business of the party. That all the nights wasted to construct this measure, he cannot go out of his way to pick a vice presidential candidate without those leadership that made this possible. In the channels, I think it was on a Tuesday night before the primaries on Wednesday 10th, when he won the election. This is a man that won the election without using money. And he said those who voluntarily...
But does anybody ever win election without losing money, using money in Nigeria?
He still remains the only Nigerian that goes out for presidential election without 10 million in his account. It's verifiable. We'll come to what my sister is asking. So General said, the party leadership, you either take decision in Lagos or you come to Abuja. But please, be reminded that there's the Electoral Act that gives the last day. So you don't blame anybody if you don't submit before the closing time. He went out of his way. The party met in Lagos, met in Abuja on Monday night, and could not reach a consensus on who to be his running mate.
Why was it that difficult?
It was difficult because, it was not difficult in the while we were in the CPC, which is micro, to what the APC is today. Everybody's looking at APC, bearing on the unforeseen circumstances, going to win the presidential election. So everybody wanted to be in the kitty. So you can imagine the agitation. Success and Surge are friends. The Governors Forum insisted it must come from them. The Southwest group insisted it must come from them. The South-South group insisted it must come from them. Even my own people, the Southeast. We said, look, Libos should be given this accord because the Southwest has been president for 8 years. The South-South is going for 6 years. We have never been since we returned to democracy. These were the arguments being canvassed. So it became difficult. Unluckily, on Monday night, Gerald was at his home. They called and said, Gerald, did you know what happened? They said no. He said, please, if tomorrow, since we have a deadline of Wednesday or Thursday, give us a vice presidential candidate. And in doing so, they brought 10 names. It was one committee or the other. After all said and done, General said, in the ranking he could see here, there's a man that if there's any identical or relationship, in terms of a common humility, devotion, loyalty, dependability, a professional, and that he had even dig back to his own Spartan and puritanical life. That's with what he wanted. Because from the onset he said, due to the sentiment on the ground, he cannot go a Muslim ticket because he's not desperate for power and he wouldn't like to put Nigeria on the sectarian edge. Because that the core ingredient of every election in liberal democracy is one, referendum on incumbents and a referendum on the character of the challenger. And that if you place a Muslim ticket, you have given my friends Dr. Okupe, Fanuka and them a good job at hand. So instead of talking about Mr. President performance for the election,
we're busy talking about
it will now be Muslim tickets, so that leave the Muslims out. His Excellency Fashola, Oshimola, the Fashola especially, is very suitable what I'm doing bets. We don't want to risk this. Ashwaju had contributed so much to my success, but we don't want to risk that. So he went for Professor.
Okay. Ken, Just before we started the conversation, you were saying you thought that the candidate was the wrong choice. What is the issue?
No, but let me first of all correct one impression. I wonder why my good brother here, Osito Kichiku, says the primaries you had was the best primaries. In 2011, I was a member of the Presidential Campaign Council, which you are aware of. And incidentally, I was the agent for Goodluck Jonathan in Delta State. Did you see that primaries? That primaries was better than the primaries you had. We had about 4,000 delegates, and we were able to manage that primaries. And even Atiku, who also came, who incidentally came third in your own primaries, came second and conceded defeat. So I wonder why you people keep this whole bolo about the primaries that was held in Surulere. You know,
what makes a primary that had 4,000 better than the one that had 7,000?
You see, the truth is that 4,000 people were able to be managed in Abuja. Abuja and Lagos are two different issues. As at that material point in time, there was a lot of security challenge. Remember, that was just about when he had been confirmed president.
So that makes it better than
it was transparent.
Is this one not transparent?
It was not transparent because you see, let me tell you, I have a problem here. Well, I mean, we all respect General Buhari. Nobody can fault that. Nobody can fault his impeccable character when it comes to his anti-corruption drive and all that. But Osita sitting down here knows that money was spent to get General Buhari there. Money was spent on the delegates. My brother here knows what I'm talking about. Governors supported the delegates to be able to elect General Buhari. We know this. We are politicians. There's no need to bring this on air. He's sitting down here. He knows what I'm talking about.
Walked out of your primary.
He did not walk out. He conceded. In fact, his Director General, Senator Ben Obi, now became a part of our campaign and emerged as an essay to the president. I stand to be corrected.
No, please.
Senator Ben Obi was his DG.
Please, let's do it this way.
How did Senator Ben Obi become a member of the government?
Let's do it this way. Leave Ben Obi out of it now.
We are saying he was the DG of Atiku.
Please, the Nigerian people are witnesses on how His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar made a pronounced statement after General Buhari's victory. That didn't happen.
Yes, because it's in the past now. But
I just wanted to correct the impression that our primaries were not as transparent as the primaries that were held.
He was saying something about you having
the vice
issues
president.
with the
Oh no,
vice
I've heard so much about the man, Professor Oshinbajo. They say he's a great man. I've gone out of my way to read about him. He's a pastor. When he was the Attorney General of Lagos, he did a lot of things. I mean, give it to him. But you see, where I have my own thinking, my personal opinion here, is that looking at APC, they have become a big party. They have merged ANPP, CPC, ACN. I mean, it's the same choice is looking like the way it was in CPC when Pastor Tunde Bakare was chosen. Another great man of God, quite all right. But you can't compare Professor Oshinbajo, Tunde Bakare. Their political clouds cannot be compared to the array of politicians that they had, that they could have made a choice from. Let me tell you, your running mate defines you. He should be able to complement the ticket in terms of the votes he should be able to garner for you. That is my own school of thought. I read political science. But when you choose a running mate that is just a gentleman per se, impeccable character, with no political clout, you are nowhere.
You know why we did so?
Yes.
Let me tell you.
I think you agree with me.
Please, let me clarify this.
Yes.
For us, General Buhari will tell you that he had gone through the budget of the PDP-led federal government since 1999, that he cannot afford the budget. But the corruption is the bane of this society. He wants to go with a pair that he could go to sleep. That while you are telling Nigerian people that you're not going to steal, your deputy is not stealing. It made a differential.
Okay. So is he trying to say that Oshimole and they are corrupt?
The old Buhari.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Just before you continue, we've been joined by
just a moment. We've got Dr. Austin Tam George, who is Executive Director, Institute of Communication and Corporate Studies. Great to have you here. Also of the LBS. I'm not sure the information I'm being given is absolutely. You've left. So that is okay. Well, congratulations. I guess it's greener pastures for you then.
Thanks a lot.
So Let me get back to you so that we calm the nerves of our friends who are politicians through and through. You're not a politician. How would